Hello, 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 all of you beautiful nerds. What is up? It's Josh. Guys, we've got to talk some Star Wars Episode 9 leaks. We're back doing a fan chat on the Den of Nerds here on this Star Wars Sunday. And yeah, some people are pouring in. So here's the thing. We didn't do live streams for a couple of weeks here. And the reason, it was kind of out of my control. So many of you don't even know this. Some of you guys popped into the stream we did, maybe it was 2 weeks ago now. 2 weeks ago when I was attempting to do live streams. It was like the first week we did it, things were killing it. I had a great Avengers video that was crushing it, and then we did an Avengers live stream, and it was great. What's up, everybody in the chat? I see you. Thank you so much for the love. And it was going great. I was like, this was a big thing for me in 2019. I'm sorry to ramble here for a second, but you haven't seen me in a while. So this is a big thing for me in 2019, and it was going great. I was like, oh man, this is gonna work. This is awesome. We'll get so much more of a connection with the fans, doing the live chats, more casual, hanging out with you guys. And then YouTube was like, nah, bro. YouTube was like, oh, feeble mortal. You want to live stream with your audience. Well, we're not going to let that happen. And there was a glitch. There was a glitch where it wasn't sending out notifications for live streams. Yeah, and if you guys could like the stream, that would be awesome right away. Thank you for that. What's up, everybody? So that's just a little explanation for what happened and why we weren't doing live streams and everything like that. Hopefully we'll be back now, and we may have to sort of fight against the algorithm a little bit to get our numbers back where they were, but that's okay. We'll figure that out as well. Jake says YouTube's algorithm has gotten weird, man. Yeah, and you know what else too? I was talking to some buddies because I've been on the road for a couple of weeks now too, and I was talking to some buddies about this, and I think that YouTube is doing a lot of experimenting in the beginning of the new year. And so there's a lot of different things that the algorithm is doing. And I've even noticed, like, just when I go to my YouTube homepage, that there's a lot of different stuff popping up. And to be completely frank, it really seems like right now YouTube has lost. It doesn't know how to give me the good stuff on my homepage. Like, it's not serving up content that I'm all about. And it's just, I think they're experimenting in the beginning of the year. And guys, as weird as it is, like, you know, I talk a lot of crap on YouTube, and a lot of YouTubers talk crap on YouTube. But here's the thing. We've been doing a lot of work on the Twitch, a lot of work on trying to get the Twitch set up. And I'll say this, you trying to grow on Twitch and understanding that ecosystem and those algorithms, holy crap, we got it good on YouTube. I got to tell you, we got it really good compared to what's going on in Twitch. But hopefully that'll change as well. A rising tide floats all boats, as they say. But anyways, enough of all that. Let's talk some Star Wars, guys. That's why you're here. That's why we're all here. So much Star Wars news has happened in the past couple of weeks. It's been crazy for me because I haven't been following all of it. You know what I mean? And as I said, I was on the road. And so there was a lot of stuff that I was focused on, you know, covering that wasn't exactly Star Wars stuff. But I wanted to open up first. I want to ask you guys a question here about Richard E. Grant. Okay, so Richard E. Grant, who people have been talking about a lot, is of course going to be in Star Wars Episode 9. Now, what really confuses me is, like, why are so many people so hype on Richard E. Grant? Like, why are they Why is that such a big deal? Like, if you guys could answer me in the comment section, I'm genuinely curious. I don't understand. I mean, I looked at the guy's filmography. You know what I mean? I looked at several things, and it's like, yeah, he's a good actor, but I don't understand why people are as excited about it. Yeah, he has been gushing about Adam Driver. He's been gushing a lot. I mean, maybe this is it. Maybe it's because he's speaking a lot about the film and everything, but he's not, how do I say this? Like, he's still trying to be secretive, but he's so excited about the project that he's still, like, letting some stuff out. Bow Down Entertainment says the video's a little choppy. Guys, if you could let me know if that's true or not. Let me know about that, because we can, of course, adjust things. if that is the case. He's a cult actor in Britain, very popular, John Golder says. It could be just the Twitter thing. Some people saying it's a Mike Zero effect. That could be the case. By the way, guys, like the thing that I really like about fan chats, and I'm so glad that you guys are here with me just hanging out. I get to be a little bit more nuanced, I guess, with things that I say. And so, like, when I record a show and I talk about Mike, and then, people, actually, it was funny. I was recording, because as I said, I was on the road. I was recording, and a buddy of mine afterwards, when I got done recording the show, when I was talking about Mike, was like, what's this Mike Zero guy? Like, why do you have beef with this guy? And I'm like, oh, man, it's hard to explain. I don't have beef with him. And I genuinely don't necessarily have a problem with Mike. I have a problem with the way that the media takes what Mike reports and puts it all over the internet as though it's news. Because the bottom line is they don't care about, being accurate. They only care about views. They only care about, getting clicks and different things like that. And so a lot of this is not Mike's fault. Like, at the end of the day, Mike is just some guy that's hyped on Star Wars. And yeah, is he doing the YouTube thing and going a little bit too crazy with his speculation? Of course. But to me, that's so much better than the people out there that just make hate videos about Lucasfilm. You know what I mean? So at least Mike, and he didn't really like The Last Jedi that much, but like, at least Mike is doing videos that are trying to get people excited about Star Wars. He's focusing on the right kind of stuff when it comes to Star Wars. And a lot of us here, like, everybody that's in the chat right now, we know this. We're like, yeah, Mike doesn't really report news. You know what I mean? As Girls with Sabers just put out there. He's not really reporting news, right? And we know that. But the problem is your average person that goes on Google AMP or is just searching through Google for this information, when other websites pick up on that stuff and they backlink him so that they get clicks and whatnot, they don't report it in the same, like, we know what the Mike's thing, but they don't, people that just read those articles don't really know what's what. So they get misled, you know what I mean, in my opinion. And that's part of the problem. When are we getting the teaser trailer? Alex Rodriguez asked. And yeah, feel free to just drop Q&A as well, guys. There's a couple of points I wanted to go over. But by and large, guys, this is a very casual fan chat because I've been gone. You know what I mean? We need to reconnect, you and I. You know what I mean? We need to catch up and just see, like, how are we doing? How are you guys doing, by the way? How's 2019 treating you? Yes, I agree. A lot of people saying the problem with Mike is that he presents news that's not news. It's speculation. And I agree. Bronson Chipman asks, how was vacay? Vacation was amazing. Let me go on a little bit rant here just because, we're just hanging out. The vacation was so nice. So I worked really, really hard last year, all year, but particularly towards the end of the year, I was grinding super hard. CPMs were up on YouTube, so, you're making the most money with ads. I had some videos blow up, and so I just continued to follow that thread and just do a lot of Avengers stuff, and the channel grew a lot. But it was a lot of work. And so after that, I needed to take just some time. So I went to my hometown. First I stopped in Pittsburgh, and then I went to my hometown of Erie, Pennsylvania, which is a really interesting little town. If you've never seen the Evil Genius documentary on Netflix about the Brian Wells bombing, that's my hometown. That's where all that craziness took place. Yo, Al Schuler is in the building, everybody. Everybody say what's up to Al. But yeah, it was a great trip. And you know what else too? Like, not to totally sound like old and all that, but like, so I met, I hung out with my best buddy's baby girl, his daughter, and she's just amazing. She's just awesome, and I just get to be cool Uncle Josh and like come in and get all the good parts, of having a kid, and then bail when they get a little annoying. And then when I went hometown, I met my buddy's kid for the first time. Another one of my really good friends, his daughter. I knew his son because his son had been around when I was in town. And now, oh, your family's from Erie, PA? That's cool. but yeah, so now it's just so cool, just reconnecting everything. The way I felt about it was that I sort of was sort of reintroduced to why I am doing all of this, like why I am working so hard and spending so much time setting up stuff to talk to internet strangers and whatnot, and it's I'm so grateful. Things are crazy, and good, really good. It's gonna be a good year. But reconnecting with everybody was just cool. It was cool to remember why I'm doing this. You know what I mean? And reconnect with people that I care about. So that's it. That's it, guys. I'm done. We'll get back to the Star Wars talk. Yes. So much more content and Star Wars content. For Adam Driver is the year 2019. Yeah, Adam is killing it. Adam is killing it. Yeah. We're going to talk about episode 9. So we talked a little bit about Richard E. Grant. Now, here's another question for you guys. Who do you think Richard E. Grant is playing in Yeah, the lighting is weird, especially right now because I haven't even it's not where it needs to be going. Yeah. If you guys do drop a super chat, I will of course answer every super chat, and I suppose I'll switch the ticker in a minute to note that. But who do you guys think Richard E. Grant is playing in episode 9? Because remember when we all thought he was playing Thrawn and he gave that really weird answer? Somebody had asked him about playing Thrawn and he said something weird like I am not playing the character that you just mentioned. Do you know what I mean? And he also said something else. I forget. There was something tacked on to the end of that answer that made everybody say, "Okay, bro. Like, why didn't you just say no?" You know what I mean? It's weird with actors and NDAs and stuff like that. A lot of people think maybe younger Snoke. I'm hearing that. I have this belief because back in the day, guys, remember there was the OG plot leak. You know what's so cool? It is right now in the fandom, the big movies for 2019 are, of course, Endgame, Avengers Endgame, and Episode 9. Both of these films have what I would consider an OG plot leak. A plot leak that a lot of, basically, like, there's this whole stream of consciousness for the fandom, and they are all sort of tying back into these OG plot leaks, right? And when the OG Star Wars plot leak, it is mentioned and talked about that they're going to be doing some stuff in the unknown regions. And there's this idea, this concept of the Star Forge, which is this big facility that would be in the unknown regions, which would allow Kylo Ren to essentially create massive amounts of weapons, wealth, technology, whatever he needed. And by doing this, he would take the everything that he'd done with the Star Forge and make the galaxy amazing. Like the galaxy that we know of as Star Wars would be fruitful. It would be flourishing. Kylo Ren would be thought of as this great leader. But the problem is, of course, the Star Forge is how he's doing all this, and that Star Forge in the unknown regions relies on slave labor from a lot of the people in the unknown regions. So around this time, when Richard was cast, people were like, "Oh, wow, he's playing Thrawn," because there was some casting thing that came out with him in like blue paint or something like that. Do you guys remember that? And he said no, but it's very possible he's playing just a different member of the Chiss. The Chiss is oh man, thanks so much for the super chat. James, Kathy, I love your channel. Can we discuss Reylo? Heck yeah, we'll discuss Reylo right after this for you, James, because I appreciate the support. Thank you very much. Yeah, Reylo forever. Man, dude, I haven't talked about Reylo in a while, and I have a lot of thoughts about it, and I'm waiting. There's a couple of Reylo videos that I have to do that are big videos that I have been thinking a lot about. So I've had Reylo on the brain. I just haven't spoken about Reylo in some time. And I'm telling you, it's going to be crazy. I'm really interested in it. I'm really confused by it. But yeah, what do you guys think about a younger Lor San Tekka, Gary McManus? I like that. All right, cool. So let's just get into the Reylo then. The Reylo of it all. You know what I mean? Oh, Bronson Shipman. Reylo is a concept. We'll start here. This is great. So Reylo is a concept that Kylo Ren and Rey have romantic feelings for each other. And essentially on the surface level, that's what it is. So on the surface, what Reylo is sort of shipping. Okay. Now shipping is basically like taking two fictional characters, putting them together in a relationship, okay? And this is in all fandoms, and it's been around for a long, long time. Jake 1.7, I'm probably going to go for about an hour today, asking me about how long the stream will be. Star Wars 9 Lake chapter. Yeah, so that's what it is. On the basic concept of Reylo is that. Now, I am what I guess you could call a Reylo, or I'm pro Reylo. And I've been thinking about this so much. Yeah, exactly. Relationship. And I've been thinking about this a lot because at the end of the day, my love of Reylo is really wrapped up in the idea that I think it was a pre-designed thing. It was what Disney had wanted to do. And they hit it really well. And the people that uncovered it, which a lot of the early Reylo connections were actually done by, like, what you would call, I guess, like fangirl, fanboy kind of shippers, right? Like the Tumblr community and all that, right? So it comes from a place where a lot of those people were uncovering these things, but then there was this beautiful collision. There was this beautiful collision of hardcore Star Wars people that were looking for any and every theory. So when it comes to whose Rey parents are. Remember back then, the freaking staff she uses. Everybody had theories about that. You know, is this Palpatine staff? All of this stuff, right? So basically, the concept started out. It became this thing where there was this beautiful collision of sort of, you could call them fangirls, fanboys, doing the Tumblr thing on the surface, and then this group of hardcore theorists. And then the theorists, I think, started looking at what the other people were doing, looking at what the Tumblr community, let's just call it, was onto. And a couple of these people, including Vincent Vendetta, a friend of mine, ran with that, dove deep on that and was like, holy crap, this might be the actual theory, the biggest thing that is actually being hidden from audiences. And what's interesting about it is before The Last Jedi, I did a series of live streams called The Last Jedi live streams. They're still on the channel. You can go check them out if you want. We did all of the different theories. Every different theory, every week was like a new theory as we got closer and closer to The Last Jedi. And one of the last ones we did is the Reylo one. And as I did the research for that live stream, I was convinced. I was like utterly convinced as I was doing the live stream. I was like, no, this is real. This is real. In fact, I think it's the only real theory that's out there. Everything else is pulling at strings. The Reylo thing is real, okay? And so that's like where my personal connection with it is then I went in to see The Last Jedi, and the Reylo scenes in The Last Jedi, the scenes between Kylo and Rey, I was like, oh shit, they're doing it. Oh my God, they're actually going to do it. This is crazy. And I continue to believe that it is an awesome thing. It was well hidden, and it basically... It's really cool. I just like it, okay? I like it for all of those reasons. Now, let's fast forward to a couple of days after The Last Jedi and then, continuing to go where we go with the fan base and everything like this. It's almost... It's like a weird thing because I don't know a lot of people. I don't know a lot of Star Wars fans that I have known to be Star Wars fans for a long time that are fans of Reylo. Not only that, there are very few people that I know that are into Star Wars, that I had known to be into Star Wars for a long time before the Disney Star Wars, that agree that Reylo is a thing. And beyond even that, I talk to a lot, and I mean a lot, of Star Wars fans that vary in degree from super hardcore to casual. They like it. And almost none of them actually think that it's a thing. What is really cool about that to me is that for a lot of us in this chat, a lot of the people that are on this channel, it's like so obvious that it's like it's almost painfully obvious. Like painfully obvious. You know what I mean? Like if The Last Jedi was a YouTube video, it would be called Reylo Confirmed, like in my opinion. And yet there's still so many people that aren't into it. And without giving away too many of my future pieces of content and the things that I'm going to be talking about, it's like one of two things is going to happen with Reylo. Either it's going to be confirmed and maligned because of just the way people feel about the current trilogy. Now, as I was talking about earlier, my buddy Vincent disagrees with this point. But I'm not as convinced as Vince. What's up? What's up, Dave? But Vince believes that even people that do not like The Last Jedi, their favorite thing is Rey and Ben. So even the people that don't like The Last Jedi, their favorite thing is Rey and Ben. I don't know, man. Like I think they're either going to, it'll be confirmed and it'll be like maligned, and that's bad. Like that would be tragic for me because I think it's a really cool concept and I think it's sweet, and just because of some other things that have happened and because of timing and just all sorts of different things, it might get people might not appreciate it. The other possibility, and I unfortunately do believe this is a possibility, is that Lucasfilm and Disney will downplay Reylo in Episode 9 and sort of retcon it out. That they might retcon that concept out of the movie. It'll still be there because I don't think they can shift the narrative completely. At this point, the tension, the romantic tension between Rey and Ben is a huge part of the drama that will take place. They have at the very least, they have intimacy insofar as they've been inside each other's freaking minds. They've had experiences that are super isolated from what normal people go through. They have intimacy. So they won't be able to change it completely, but I get this weird feeling that Disney is in such they desire to play defense so badly because at the end of the day, they took Star Wars and it's their it's one of their crown jewels. Star Wars is so important to them on just a budget sheet. Like it's incredible the amount of money that they spent to create these two parks on both sides of the coast dedicated to Star Wars. The amount of money that they have invested into Star Wars and the reality that Star Wars as an IP is meant to help the Disney brand in the next 5 to 10 years as the streaming thing gets bigger. You know what I mean? So Jake asks, why would they retcon Reylo? And the reason is because whether right or wrong, they may feel as though following through on that would turn even more people off, because the bottom line is they got to read the room. And right now there's a lot of people that are unhappy with Disney and unhappy with Disney Star Wars. Some of that is crazy exaggeration. Some of it's legit. You know what I mean? Disney is a corporation. It's not, we don't owe corporations any sort of loyalty. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, Disney is not doing any of this out of benevolence. They are a publicly traded company. They are legally obligated to pursue profit for their shareholders. They would be breaking the law if they weren't just trying to make more money, is what I'm saying. And so, nuanced ideas perhaps, but yeah, that's where I'm at with it. I'm really interested to see what happens with Episode 9. I think if they do go that route and they downplay it or even retcon it out, it would be the greatest tragedy of storytelling in a long, long time. Because they would be because ultimately that would be the sign of them just going after money. You know what I mean? Like putting money above everything else. But yeah, so that's where I'm at with Reylo. Kind of a weird little tangent. I apologize. But That's where I'm at with it. So let's get into some pure Q&A. This is pure 24 karat Q&A. If you got a question, drop it in. If you got a super chat, I'll answer every single super chat that comes in. But if you don't have any loot, don't worry about it. Just drop a like, drop a share, hang out, comment. And of course, continue to drop your questions in. I'll try to answer as many as I can. Ben and Rey have an interesting relationship, but romantic, ? Not sure I want to see that. Besides, it was Snoke who bridged their minds. Do they really have a special connection? Great question. SWA8080. Great question. Yes, they so clearly have a special connection that it's like not even funny. Have you ever played Knights of the Old Republic, the old KOTOR games? My theory is that Rey and Kylo are both Anakin. Steve Cron with the super chat coming in hot. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate that. My theory is that Rey and Kylo are both Anakin. Rey could be a reincarnated version of Anakin, or perhaps a clone, or perhaps another chosen one, because Palpatine was creating a lot of those, actually. So I that could be part of it, right? I want to go back and answer this question about Rey and Ben having a connection. I mean, it's just all over. A lot of people have theorized that Kylo had visions of Rey just the same way that Rey had visions of Kylo. So when Rey has her Force back vision in the novelization, she sees a young child at the end of the hallway, and she also sees, by the way, Vader and Luke actually fighting on Cloud City. And so down that literal hallway, she sees a young Ben Solo. Now, it's not explicitly spelled out, but it's young Ben Solo. And equally, some people think that when he says, "What girl?" it is because he has had visions of this girl. Okay? And the connections are all over the ancillary material. So a lot of the novels, a lot of the art books, a lot of these things, you have to read between the lines. It's like people in the Star Wars community, I'm sorry, Star Wars fans, you guys are not as fun as Avengers fans, because I do an Avengers video and I'm like, hey, this producer said this in the art book, and all the Avengers fans are like, oh, those memes. They're like, oh, dude, homie said what? What's that mean? Star Wars fans are like, it wasn't in the movie. It doesn't count. It's like, what? Bro. Are we having fun here? Are we fans? Is this a fandom? Anyway, yeah. So that's kind of it. That's the baseline answer. SWA. There's a lot of connections. Go check. Man, I wish I could tell you to go check out the Vincent Vendetta videos, but YouTube was like, nah, bro, and took all those down. The hut scene. I know, right? The hut scene's hot. The hut scene is hot. Yeah, Revan and Bastila, exactly. There's a lot of connections there. I mean, they're both kind of designed that same way. Hello. Star Wars fans just care a lot, and I've done a lot of videos and content talking about this concept as well, because it's not even all that bad, you know? I mean, there's a lot of bad to it. I'm not going to say there's not. I mean, look what they did to Jake Lloyd. Look what they did to even George Lucas himself. I mean, a lot of this is all, you know, I think Jeremy Johns talked about this at one point and said, you know, all these Star Wars fans are so upset right now. What they don't realize is their anger is what led George Lucas to sell to Disney in the first place. He didn't want no more of that. There's no way Rey is a Skywalker. Guys, look, let me just travel in pages, 100% right. There's no way she's a Skywalker. There's been so much evidence tallied up in the, yeah, she's probably not a Skywalker category, that it's insane to even consider that. Maureen Reagan, I mean, you missed a lot. You're going to have to go back and watch the replay. YouTube deleted Vincent Vendetta's videos. Lilac, they deleted his whole channel. It went East Coast, West Coast. Yeah, Biggie and Tupac is definitely the way of the Star Wars fandom right now. Shout out to Al Schuler. Because here's the thing about Al Schuler. Let me tell you guys a little something about Al. He's got his finger on the pulse, man. That's why I keep him in my circle. This man knows what's going on. He knows what people are saying and thinking in these fandoms. Oh, when is the trailer going to drop? there's that rumor about the Super Bowl. Let's talk about this for a second. Let's talk about this. Ooh, Gary McManus. That's a good question. Do you think there's a way to end this trilogy in any satisfying way? Oh, man, of course there is. But what do you guys think about the Super Bowl trailer rumors? 3 spots, 30 seconds apiece, little teasers throughout the Super Bowl. I think this would be brilliant, and they don't even need to drop a full trailer. Just do the little tease and get us hyped for celebration. As I've said many times, they need to turn the conversation. Like, okay, right now, like, let's be real. My main man, Gary McManus, is basically saying, Josh, I don't like the sequel trilogy. Is there a way they could possibly end it in a way that I would like it? And I would say, yes, sir. But here's the other thing. That's where we're focused right now. That's where the conversation is. If Lucasfilm puts out 30-second TV spots and one is the Knights of Ren lighting up a bunch of lightsabers and then a bunch of like Jedi, like makeshift Jedi lighting up their lightsabers and Rey and Kylo just staring at each other and then boom, like cuts. Like, bro, you're not going to be asking that anymore. You know what I mean? You're going to be like, I need to see this. And there's all kinds of other things they could do to tease us. Show us the craziest thing ever. Show us a Force Ghost scene between Luke Skywalker and Anakin Skywalker, Hayden Christensen. They just pop up next to each other in some weird temple-y thing. Just the craziest thing ever. They don't have to say a word to each other. Maybe like dad and son or something like that. Look, is that insane? Is that crazy, far-fetched, not going to happen? Yeah. But that's the kind of stuff that would just turn the conversation around. Like, you need to get over your hate, and you need to get to your hype, is what I'm saying here. Steve Cron, thanks again for the super chat, my friend. I hope the title will be The Chosen One. Ooh, I like that, actually. Hey, man, I like The Force Awakens, Gary McManus says. Yeah, I feel you, dog. I love The Force Awakens. I mean, I like The Last Jedi. You know what's funny? I'm actually working on a video where it's like I changed my mind about The Last Jedi, and I'll just let you guys know because you guys are hanging here. It's sort of clickbait. I haven't really changed my mind about The Last Jedi, but there is stuff I want to talk about. I like the movie. I understand where the criticism comes from. I totally get it. If I could go back in time, I might tell Ryan, like literally, I might be like, because I met him at Star Wars Celebration, right? Super cool guy, super friendly, humble guy. But I might be like, hey, Ryan, like, don't kill Luke. If I could go back in time, you know what I mean? I'd be like, dude, just don't kill Luke. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. Do you guys realize that the fans waited like 30 years? I mean, they were forced to wait, right? They waited and they were like, oh, shit, Luke Skywalker's back. And then you don't see him at all in the first movie. He's just chilling at the end. And then the Luke that they got and then him dying. I mean, you got to understand what that did to people. That was rough. But yeah, I'm a little all over the place. Keep dropping those questions in. The way that I think that the most satisfying way that they can end in 9. So there's the ways that I want it to go, but I think the most satisfying way is sort of being like, look, what was going on with Anakin needs to be explained, meaning that Palpatine was indeed creating a lot of children of the Force, and that he was doing something really crazy, and that perhaps Rey is one of these as well, and basically explaining what was happening with Anakin, explaining this grip that the dark side has had on the Skywalkers and what they mean to the galaxy and why that's so important. Supposedly there's this big rumor of a crazy scene in a Revelation with Luke Skywalker. Would love it. And then, yeah, you have Kylo and Rey either go into exile, defeat each other, or like both die, but then they have a kid. So their kid then would be the Force child, which is a theory that I've had for a long time. And that child would be the centerpiece of the next series of films that would be taking place, next in line. That would be really cool for me. Yeah. Massive library of EU Luke. Yeah, and EU Luke was dope, too. A lot of people loved the Expanded Universe Luke. Yeah, I think he just done some silly stuff in that movie. It's just going to feel a bit fractured. Rey is a Kenobi. I'd love for Rey to be a Kenobi. Super off that theory, though. Definitely don't think that's the way they're going to go. But it would be dope. Han is sassy, but he would not cheat and have another child. People can't accept Rey as an orphan, which parents doesn't matter to the plot. Yeah. So, I mean, traveling pages, yeah, I feel you. I mean, she's probably just a nobody, right? Rey no one. Rey no one is a thing, you know, hashtag Rey no one. And people like it. Like, dude, that's totally fine. I would much prefer, if she was a Palpatine, I think that would be the best. Like, if I was writing it, if it was fan fiction, there's two ways I would go. One, she's a forced birth, just like Anakin, and holy crap, the child of Rey and Kylo will be like a Force god, probably a dark Force god, and then that's the main villain for the next movies. Or Rey is related to Palpatine, and the First Order, once fractured, actually seeks her out to rule them. And Rey could potentially rule the galaxy as the heir to Palpatine. Also explain why she's so strong. I'll tell you this. If just from a touching like point-to-point sort of perspective, if Lucasfilm was like, how can we get everybody to like Rey and stop calling her a Mary Sue? You make her Palpatine's granddaughter. 100%, all of the fans, and a lot of people that were like, yeah, Rey's a Mary Sue, they would line up to apologize and be like, I apologize. I want to apologize to the late, great Sheev, Palpatine. I want to apologize to the late, great Anakin Skywalker, a.k.a. Darth Vader. I want to apologize to all the Star Wars fans out there that I was a total butthole to. This chick's a Palpatine. Where do I get my Rey merchandise? That's basically what would happen. That's not going to happen. But that's what would happen. You know what I mean? Club Star Wars wouldn't. Search your feelings, Club Star Wars. You know it to be true. Nah, you would, bro. I'm going to call you out. You would. Why did we hear Kenobi's voice telling her this is your first steps? They need to explain that. I do love the idea of her being a Palpatine. Okay. There was two voices, right? There was two Kenobis and a Yoda in that scene. So I don't know. I don't know. There could have been a plan. JJ could have had that plan. There's a lot of speculation that JJ had the plan to make her a Palpatine, or rather, to make her a Kenobi. There was some stuff that was said by Simon Pegg that sort of indicated that JJ had a different plan, and then Ryan took it in a different direction. Bronson Chipman says if she was created by Palpatine, then yeah, she would be a Palpatine. Kind of. Yes, kind of. And that would mean that Vader was kind of a Palpatine as well. They were both created by Palpatine. That would be super cool. And I do think that tying it, here's the thing, like at the end of the day, tying it back into something, if this is really going to end the Skywalker saga, then we need more than just the end to Kylo and Rey's story. Even though Kylo is technically one of the last Skywalkers, he's technically the last Force-using living Skywalker that, you know, besides Leia. So if it really is the end of the Skywalker saga and it's just the end of his story and there's no real connection or revelation, I think that's stupid. I think that's a big waste. So I would really like it if they did more than that. If they went a little bit further back and, Paul's story. Okay, so let's talk about this. I don't think we need a backstory for everything. I agree with that, EW3. I totally agree with that. You don't need a backstory for everything. But the Skywalker saga, not everything. Hey, Josh, did you hear that Disney basically stole the Darth Vader fan movie? Paul's story? Holy crap. I can't believe that. Screw Disney, man. Screw those guys. Oh, wait, yeah, no, I did hear about that, and that's actually not true. Man, okay, so I actually did a video explaining this, talking about it, but nobody saw the video because it had a terrible thumbnail. It's my fault, so I will re-explain this to you guys. That is not what happened. Star Wars Theory, who, by the way, is the dopest dope. We live, guys, in a great timeline. We live in the best timeline, the light side timeline, because think about this. The biggest Star Wars channel on the planet, YouTube channel, is run by a guy, the guy that is Star Wars Theory. And this guy is not only a super big fan, does great content, but is reasonably minded. This guy has done some great videos trying to tone down the hate in the Star Wars community. This guy is not a shill. You know what I mean? He's legit. Love it. We live in a great timeline where he is the biggest Star Wars channel on the planet. This Vader fan film is absolutely amazing. It's so cool. And what happened was an MCN, a multi-channel network, copy striked him, which isn't even the correct way to say it, but shout out to all the 9-year-olds that know what I'm talking about. They copy striked Star Wars Theory's fan film, because even though he got an original composer to do a different version of the Imperial March, this company argued that the music in there is still under their license because they own all the license for all the Star Wars songs on the internet. That they, indeed, Aaron, indeed, that they can then copy strike Star Wars Theory. That had nothing to do with Disney, had nothing to do with Lucasfilm. In fact, a lot of these companies that do this online are super shady. Now, in this instance, it was a company that Disney at least had an actual relationship with. But there are a ton of these little weird companies out there that basically freelance copy strike people. They just take down videos and take the money, get the revenue to people that have the right to the revenue, and then they take a little bit of a piece of it. And because YouTube is so broken with their system, basically, we'll be doing a Marvel live chat real soon, bro. I promise you that. Basically, what happened was this company then copy striked him, Lucasfilm and Disney. And yes, it was a joint thing. It was Disney could have swatted this down. Lucasfilm essentially got involved and got them to drop that copy strike, this company. Yeah. And so Lucasfilm and Disney actually helped Star Wars Theory. Warner Chappell. That's it. That's the company. Thank you, Lord Arnold. Yes. Lord Arnold knows what he's talking about there. Yes, the claim was removed. Okay, Club Star Wars. Thanks for the super chat. Great little image for your thing there. Do you do Star Wars content? Because that's a really cool little picture. Richard E. Grant. Could he be an older Obi-Wan? FG? What the heck does that mean? Oh, Force Ghost. Okay. Maybe that would be interesting, but why wouldn't you just get Ewan McGregor? Make up that man. Get him in there. I think he could kill it. Could he be an older Obi-Wan for sure? There's a big speculation. Dude, this is why I wanted to talk to you guys about this, because the freaking thing with Richard E. Grant, I don't understand it. Like on Reddit, there's so many people talking about Richard E. Grant, his comments, who he could be. People are very excited for him as a character. I'm like, that's cool, man. Like, that's cool. I don't really know too much about the guy. I don't understand why it's such a big deal. A lot of people are torn right now. They're like, he's either going to play a character we've known or a new character. My thing, please be a member of the Chiss Higher Ascendancy and be a Chiss. That would be dope. Ooh, yeah, he could be a Knight of Ren. I want Kerry Russell to be a Knight of Ren. I want Kerry Russell to be a Knight of Ren, and she's a version of the Mara Jade character. A version of that character that, for new canon. Oh, man, by the way, I wish I could show you guys. This is weird, but the shoes I'm wearing right now are Chewbacca and Han Solo shoes. Let me see if I can. This is going to be really weird. Watch YouTube, like, try to shut me down for, like, put my foot up in the air or something. Can I show you? Oh, man, can you see it? Yeah, anyway. I've got Han Solo and Chewie over here, and I got them on my feet, too. Kind of cute. Kind of cute. McGregor killed it. Dude, everybody loves McGregor. Hello there. The new Chiss novel sets up the perfect conflict. I totally agree. And I'm really excited about the Chiss just in general. Oh, man, Matthew R., thanks, man. Thanks for hanging out, stopping by. So I love the Chiss, and I'm really pumped about seeing more of them in canon. A little bit of a spoiler here if you haven't read the new Thrawn novel, Thrawn Alliances. Anyway, it is revealed in that book that all Chiss children have Force sensitivity, and then their Force sensitivity wears off as they get older. So technically, Thrawn had Force sensitivity when he was younger, and it fades away. And the women of the Chiss have it for longer, but they all sort of lose it. Really interesting, really cool stuff. I want to see that. More of that explained. Do you save your streams to watch later? Heck yes, I do, Evan. This stream will go up in a couple of hours for everybody to watch that wants to. And guys, if you like that Twitch, oh man, the Twitch is almost ready. I took a deep dive. By the way, shout out to Girls with Sabers hanging out on the very first Twitch night of the Den of Nerds when we didn't have anything going on. No cool effects, no cool alerts, no cool overlay, no cool nothing. And I sucked at Smash Bros that night, but Girls with Sabers was there. But yeah, we're about to be doing that Twitch in perpetuity. The Vader helmet? Yeah, that's the Vader helmet, man. It's Darth Vader's helmet. It's a gift. Mr. DVS86. Is there going to be a new big bad, or is Kylo finally full dark side? I'd love for Kylo. I'm just playing with you, bro. I'd love for Kylo to be full on dark side. I really would like that. I'd really like it if he went full dark side. But I don't know. Let's all just be real. He's kind of soft, you know? He's kind of soft, and he's always feeling the pull of the light. He has too much of his father's heart in him. It's real shit. Thrawn Alliances is amazing, says Al Schuler. It really is. You guys should read it. Holy cow. James Cathy coming in hot with another super chat for $19.99. Dang, bro. Thank you very much for the support. I do appreciate it. Is there anything we should think about Kylo going into 9? Anything we missed in the first 2? Interesting question. So I'm going to take some time on this question. Obviously, James has been very kind, so let's deep dive on this. Anything that we should think about going in with Kylo? I think the most important thing, and one of the things that I'm kind of bummed about as far as them killing Snoke, is that Kylo from birth, even before birth, has been manipulated by dark side energy. I think ultimately the legacy of the Skywalkers, when you think about it, when you look back at the Skywalkers, they've all had either a devil or an angel on their shoulder, right? For Anakin, it was clearly Darth Sidious. He'd been manipulated for a long time. Now, at the end of the day, the decision to give in to that and the fear and everything is obviously on him, but he was manipulated. There was a devil. You know, this is an important thing. And when you talk about mythic storytelling in general, pardon me, when you talk about mythic storytelling in general, there usually is a devil. There's a devil that's trying to get you to come to the dark side, that's trying to get you to sin. And this is an interesting concept from a psychological perspective as far as, like, what does it mean in these stories, you know, good versus evil, choice, free will, those sort of things. But there's always a devil. And so Snoke was the devil for Kylo, and he was a great devil. Since birth, this kid had been manipulated. You know, we don't get the full story, but we get this idea that Snoke had been there for a long time, been manipulating him. And so this is important, particularly with Kylo, because he might have been driven insane and constantly manipulated. It might well be a thing that he was being sort of mentally manipulated and controlled, you know, with Snoke. I mean, if Snoke had the ability to put the minds of Kylo and Rey together, he probably had the ability to manipulate the minds of these people. I actually believe that when Luke Skywalker picked up the saber to strike down Ben Solo, when he had that moment of weakness that you know, dissipated like a fleeting shadow, I believe is the way Luke phrases it, that was probably Snoke as well. And I think that why that's bad is because we need to understand there's an innocent kid that was manipulated. Now, he still has to pay for the things that he did. But at the end of the day, I think this is a really important thing to keep in mind as we go into 9, is to be like, Kylo is been manipulated for a long time. There is good inside him. You know what I mean? And sort of having this empathy for that character. I think that's one thing that's very important. The other thing that I would say is really important to remember when it comes to Kylo is how incredibly powerful with the Force he is. We have seen Kylo do some amazing things. Now, does he get beat by Rey? For sure. At the end of the day, I think he gets beat by Rey, in my opinion, because he's just trying to turn her, and he's really not trying to hurt her at all. That's explicitly stated in the novelization as well. But yeah, so I would say keeping in mind that he had been manipulated since birth is very important going into 9. And I would also say you should keep in mind how insanely powerful this kid is, because that also would create empathy. Hillbilly Livin', thank you so much for the super chat, man. I do appreciate it. There's no question there. But yeah, if you have one, drop it in the chat. I'll try to catch it. Are they going to save Star Wars in the long run? Absolutely. Star Wars is going to be completely fine. We survived the prequels. We can survive anything. The truth of the matter is the sequel trilogy in this era in Star Wars Disney has had a lot of problems. It's done a lot of things right. I think even fans that are like the most pessimistic would have to admit that there's a lot of good stuff that Disney Star Wars is doing. And so we'll iron it out. Plus, there's just a weird time in the world right now, like with social media and everybody, like everything's political, and it's just a weird time right now. This will pass. This too will pass. I saw you say something about your question. Can you just drop it in the chat again? I'll try to catch it. Kylo is the antagonist and the new big bad. People have to get that headcanon of Ben Solo being a secret good guy and that he was abused child out of their heads. So I don't think that Jake Rivers says this. So I do not think that the theory of him being a double agent is true at all, obviously. But I don't think this is solely Rey's story. If anything, it's actually more of Ben Solo's story, weirdly, in my opinion. It's at least equal. They're equal in the story in the sense that they're both protagonists, mirroring protagonists, actually, which is really cool. But this is not just solely Rey's story, just objectively. That's not true. You actually see Kylo before you see Rey, remember, in the Force Awakens? Hillbilly Livin'. Will Kylo die in the end? I think so. Yeah. Terezi 444. I hope I said that correctly. I agree. If he was fighting Rey purely to kill her, he wouldn't fail. Yeah. Oh, he would have destroyed her had he actually been trying to defeat her. Destroyed her. But in the cosmic sense, he never would have done that. Don't you see? Like they're sort of predestined to have those moments and to not. Because she could have destroyed him plenty of times. She could have destroyed him in the throne room after the saber explodes. She could have destroyed him then and there in the forest, and she doesn't either. But she never could. What if Ben isn't Solo's kid? What if Snoke is the father, Kylo, and used the Force to conceive life? Maybe Kylo found out, and that's why he hated Han? That'd be pretty cool, actually. So since Rey and Kylo being designed after Revan and Bastila, and utility baddie for Revan is the Sith Emperor, could Snoke possibly be the Darth Vitiate for canon? I mean, maybe. I doubt they're going to go that way, but I have actually done a video on how Snoke could legitimately still be alive in Episode 9. It has more to do with him sort of being in Kylo's mind as like a parasite or something. You should check that video out. It's kind of interesting. But ultimately, the heroic sacrifice that Kylo will have to make in 9, in my opinion, is walking away from the possibility that he could win and just change things forever. Essentially, he has to realize that he's the only person that can sort of stop himself from winning. Could there be like this other threat that comes in? Maybe. I'm not a big fan of that. Really not a big fan of that. But it could happen. You know, what do I know exactly? The end of his arc should be freedom. Exactly, but death is a kind of freedom. Make his own character choice, reject both sides, end up as a renegade smuggler even. That would be dope. My favorite outcome is that Kylo realizes that he has to give this all up. He goes into exile with Rey, maybe even on Ahch-To, and the idea that's perpetuated to the galaxy is that Kylo was defeated by Rey, that he was defeated. Okay, and then you have all these people in the First Order that are like, "Oh no! In our Emperor's name, we must, do all this stuff." And maybe the Knights of Ren continue to be a thing. That would be dope. And then maybe Kylo then has to come back way in the future, out of exile, to stop his son or his daughter from doing something real bad. That would be cool to me. Because Star Wars is poetry. It's going to repeat itself. This is Rey's heroine's journey, but Kylo plays a key role. Yeah, I would agree with that. I think that as far as the baseline of the story, Rey is on the hero's journey. Kylo's almost on like a reverse hero's journey. It's almost like because he is her senior in a lot of ways, but it's almost like he made all the wrong choices, and now we're sort of watching her go through those choices as the heroine, as the hero. So yeah, for sure. Audrey says, hi, Josh. I say, what's up, Audrey? Bianca, that's a very good point. We really don't know enough. I mean, in general, we have to wait until the end of this saga to really kind of dissect it and see what was this saga about, who was the real protagonist, and all that. We will get a lot more of Rey in episode 9. I hope so, and I hope there's more of an explanation for certain things about her as well. Kylo Ren dies, but Ben Solo lives. Does the galaxy really even know who Ben Solo is? Hard to say. I think Kylo would need to be exiled anyway. Just in general. What if the Knights of Ren have Force sensitivity? You know what I mean? Like, they would be able to find him. He'd have to pull a Yoda, you know? Well, I'm glad you enjoy the live strats and the banter. Got plenty of banter, that's for sure. A lot of them probably don't know that Kylo is Ben, but then again, there were a lot of people that did. I mean, it's hard to say. That's another thing. The overall backstory for like what's going on in the galaxy is like not well spelled out right now in the canon. Like, we really don't know. There's a lot of mixed things too. All right, guys, so I'm going to go probably about 10 more minutes. Drop your questions, and if you've got any last-minute questions, we'll go over them. We will be doing a lot more live streams on this channel. Marvel, DC, Game of Thrones when Game of Thrones rolls around, Star Wars, all of it's going down. Make sure you stay tuned to the channel. We're also going to be ramping up our gaming content. We have a Den of Nerds gaming channel. It's already there. Going to be doing a lot more stuff over there. And on the Twitch. Lord Arnold, good point. If everybody could hit the like, that'd be awesome. Guys, if you hit the like, I will do a car giveaway or something. I don't know. Do you think Rey's Knights of Ren vision from the past or the future? Good question. Hopefully the future. Hopefully the future, but likely the past. Audrey, it has not been confirmed that they are going to do these spots on the Super Bowl. We are all really hoping that it will happen, but it has not been confirmed. Matthew R. has to go. See you later, Matt. Take care, my friend. I suspect Disney is not going to let go of the money, but truly stopping the Skywalker saga. This is just going to turn into the Solo saga. Yeah, for sure. So I tend to believe that they're going to pull one of these true from a certain point of view things, and that there'll still be a Skywalker. Like Rey and Kylo did have that Force child. That kid's technically a Skywalker. You know what I mean? Will we ever see Vincent Vendetta on your channel again? I think so. Vince and I have definitely been in contact, and he definitely wants to, and I want to have him on here as well. We've both just kind of been busy right now. Ooh, Jake, good question. Do you think The Mandalorian could possibly outdo Game of Thrones? Yes. 100% yes. And here's why. Game of Thrones is adaptive television. It's adaptive. The first season of Game of Thrones is amazing. Seasons 2 through 5 were okay, in my opinion. And then they started making actual television, and I love season 6 and 7. Now, a lot of the hardcore fans don't feel the same way as I do about that. That's fine. Overall, I would say it's a general consensus on Game of Thrones that it is the most popular show of all time. It is not necessarily the best show of all time. The Mandalorian, being built from the ground up, having the talent, the amount of talent that they have behind this thing, insane. It's just insane. And so, yes. Now, am I a hardcore Star Wars fan that would probably think this either way? For sure. But I'm telling you guys, I think The Mandalorian is going to be something special. I've been saying that for a long time. in my content. The general public has not necessarily caught on to how big of a deal this is, but yeah, The Mandalorian is going to be killing it. Jake Rivers says, to be honest, I'm so done with the Skywalkers. New era should stay away from the Skywalkers. I don't mind going back and doing prequel stuff post Return of the Jedi to fill in the story with Luke. That's true. And look, man, you know, for some people out there, I think, yeah, they are done with the Skywalkers. They're burnt out on it. They want something else. Other people are like, it always has to be the Skywalkers. I say, why not both, right? Continue to do the Skywalker thing. You could have it sort of tangentially connected to the Skywalkers, and yet do all new stuff, all new galaxy. I'm really interested in the Old Republic, and so I think give us a feast of Star Wars content and allow the fan to pick what they like from the feast. That's the formula. Hela is Odin's daughter in the movies, but in the comics, she's Loki's daughter and a wolf. So do you think if Disney will use that and let Rey and Kylo have kids, perhaps twins like Han and Leia didn't? What? I would love for them to have twins, and I think they could have twins, but I think that the Force child, because of the nature of like this prophecy, the chosen one, you know, I think it's going to be one child. I think ultimately, though, if they go into exile together, they could have twins. So they could have twins, and then there would be the first child would be the Force child, and maybe even the twins fight the Force child. I don't know. Like, you know, it could go all sorts of different places. Jake Rivers, interesting question. I do agree that there's a lot of friction in the fandom right now, but I don't think I don't think we need to like draw lines the same way. I don't feel that way. The new generation of Star Wars fans need their own heroes. They've got them. And I think in general, Star Wars needs new heroes. New Star Wars characters are dope. Old Star Wars characters are dope. Yes, The Mandalorian would be amazing. Andor series will be very good, I think, as well. Love the idea of the Rebel intelligence missions. Wet work stuff with Cassian Andor was a big wish for a lot of people. We're hopefully going to be able to see that in that show. I'm excited for it. Way more excited for The Mandalorian personally, but yeah. Son of Darkness would be a great title, in my opinion. The New Order, also possible. After Episode 9, what are you most looking forward to with Star Wars? Definitely Old Republic. I've often said, and I cannot believe that Disney hasn't put out movies with more lightsabers in them. I want to go back to the Old Republic time. I want a Sith Empire. I want a Jedi Empire. I want just all sorts of Force-wielding Jedi people, like the Game of Thrones show, but like everybody's got a lightsaber. Instead of everybody having a sword, everybody should have a lightsaber or blaster. Like, just come on. Like, that's what I'm most looking forward to on the silver screen is getting some Old Republic stuff. Whew, that'd be really cool. So that's what I'm most excited for. Do I think JJ will save Episode 9? Yes. I think Episode 9 will be an incredible film. Incredible film. And I think that it will maybe not save the trilogy for a lot of people, but the same thing that happened with the prequels. Like, yo, guys, people hated Attack of the Clones. You think people hated Phantom Menace? Attack of the Clones is, in my opinion, one of the worst, if not the worst Star Wars movie ever. And then Sith was so good that you're like, you know, prequels are aight. People feel better about the prequels nowadays. It's gonna happen like that. 9 will be incredible. What about another R-related title? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Like an R-rated? Okay, Guitar Life. Do I think that Anakin will... Oh, my God. This is in the thumbnail. I can't believe we didn't talk about this. We're going to have to go for a little bit longer here because I'm so rusty about Star Wars or live streams that I never even brought up the Anakin Force Ghost. There's a massive rumors about an Anakin Force Ghost being in Star Wars Episode 9, and not all of these rumors are just Mike Zero stuff. There was an actual guy connected to the production that tweeted something. I think the tweet's gone now, but he tweeted something like, if you're excited for cool things in Star Wars Episode 9, make sure you look at the concept art for The Force Awakens. Some of that stuff will make it in there. And it's like, yo, are we getting that Anakin Skywalker ghost that goes back and forth between Vader? Either way, I really do want Anakin to be a part of Episode 9. If you're closing up the Skywalker saga, put Anakin in there. Even if it's just for a little scene at the end. But I really do want them to sort of explain Anakin. Explain that a little bit more. Again, For me, it's got to be Palpatine. That's who created it. That's kind of what I want to see. But yeah, seeing some Force Ghost Anakin Skywalker, yo. Yeah, for real though, Jake River. The freaking Padme Anakin relationship was a joke. It was a joke. Have they finished filming episode 9? I don't think so. I do not think they finished. If they have, they're at least doing reshoots because there were some leaks of them putting snow in a forest for some snowy planet stuff. That's on Instagram. That leaked like today. So, yeah. Will we see Luke in epic lightsaber fight? Probs not. Doesn't mean we won't get Luke, and it doesn't mean that Luke won't have a huge impact on the story, but he's probably not going to be fighting. I agree. Not having Anakin episode 9 would suck. Do it. Just come on. Just at this point, hello there from Brazil. Thank you. Carolina as Ferreria. Qui-Gon Force Ghost. Yo, you guys know about Claudia Gray's coming book? I think it's called Master and the Apprentice with Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon. If you're not hyped for that, you don't know what you're doing. Claudia Gray is one of, if not the best, Star Wars novelist. Like, here's the thing. Like, for me, there's like James Luceno. There's obviously Timothy Zahn, and then the guy that wrote, why am I blanking? Lords of the Sith. I'm ashamed that I'm blanking on his name. But those are like the gods, the OG gods. Oh, and John Jackson Miller, of course, of Star Wars novels. Claudia Gray is at least hanging out with those dudes, and maybe better than all of them. She's an incredible author, and she knows Star Wars. And her newest book coming out with Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi, like, guys, you got to get hyped for that. Sound Extreme 1 says, anyone considering themselves a hardcore fan thinking they are speaking for the majority needs to deflate their head and just look at the box office. I don't know about that, man. I do not know about that. Just saying. Yova in the building. What's up, Yova? You're actually towards the end of the stream. But it was a good stream. It was a comeback stream for me. But yeah, it was a little rusty. The lighting's a little whack. Oh my god, it's the worst. It's the worst stream I've ever done. Wah. Ooh, she could be a clone. I actually like that. Yeah, Ben Solo meeting Anakin. Come on. Yeah, okay, so Jake Rivers. Here's the thing. For sure, but they're kind of adolescents. I mean, how many girls do you think Kylo has had intimate interactions with in his life? You know what I mean? How many women do you think he's actually been around that he could have even had a romantic thing for? And also with Rey. I mean, you think she's like going to the singles club, at Uncle Plot's place every Friday night? No. They've sort of been forced into an intimate thing together. You know what I mean? So. Yeah, Kylo's 29. Kylo's 29 for sure. But I mean, the guy's antisocial AF. You know what I mean? He's got problems. He's not a ladies' man. So he's probably not. Maureen Reagan. That's a good point. Bittersweet that it'll be John Williams' last Star Wars film. I don't know if that's been confirmed, but yeah, probably. Yes, Guitar Life. Just quickly, yes, I do agree. Here's the thing. Matt Kylie. Will episode 9 once more unite the Star Wars fan base concerning the content? It will help. It will not hurt. It will help. The bottom line is, man, it's really hard to it's hard to say exactly. It's hard to explain. But it will take more than just Star Wars Episode 9 being amazing to put the fan base back together again. A lot of it will have to come from Disney itself, decisions they make moving forward, and unfortunately, because you can't necessarily rely on them understanding PR and the good state of the internet, it will rely a lot on channels like this one, YouTube channels like Star Wars Theory, good people like that, to help sort of mend the thing. And even these people that are like the Fandom Menace and that whole group of people, they have a part to play as well. It'll be very interesting. One of the things I'm looking forward to seeing is I do believe that Disney will try to appease more fans, and it's going to be interesting to see the people that right now are making money off of the hate for Star Wars, as their personal hate starts to fade, and if they see Disney actually turn it around, where's their allegiance? Is their allegiance to their fandom or to the algorithm and to the way they make money? And so we'll see. We're going to have to wait and see. I am very hopeful that the Star Wars fan community will turn itself around, but this war's not over yet. Haters going to hate. Reylo rises and Star Wars is back. I love it. I like the prequels too, man. We never saw Han's lifeless body. That's true. Josh, does the character Rey remind you of Padme because, like Padme, Rey wears arm sleeves and costume design? Yeah, I mean, I think she's specifically designed to give us some teases of Padme, for sure. I mean, she's technically related. Oh, no, she's not. What am I thinking? Just because Kylo 29 doesn't mean he's 29. It's a different world. He's just more of a child. Yeah, he's definitely still a child. He's so childlike. Jake Rivers says, the Phantom Menace is an anti-SJW nonsense. They use Star Wars diversity as a gateway to make money off it. Facts. I mean, in a lot of ways, you're right. In a lot of ways, you are correct. I do think that there are good people out there that don't like The Last Jedi and that are bothered by one of the things that I don't like is when a company hides behind political stuff to dodge criticism. And so there's fair criticism of what's going on in Star Wars right now. And if Lucasfilm continues to just try to hide behind political, like the fact that they say, like Lucasfilm, like, you're just a guy in this chat, we're just hanging out, we're fans and all that, that's fine. But when something that has authority comes out and on behalf of Lucasfilm sort of perpetuates this idea that all this criticism or all this hate is attached to political ideologies, I think that's wrong. That's a mistake. As a company, that's just a huge mistake. I don't know what the better solution is, but I'm telling you right now, that is a mistake for the company. Remember, generations later, Kenobi and Skywalker once come together, prequels Anakin Skywalker. Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers makes his money off of hate. I mean, I don't really watch Jeremy anymore, but definitely. I mean, from when I was watching him, that's 100% the truth. Malcolm Brooks. Josh, do you canonically know what age Han was when he met Leia in A New Hope? I believe it was very similar to the age gap between Kylo and Rey. Because in real life, by the way, guys, everyone's like, oh, Kylo's creepy with a 19-year-old girl. That's creepy. Well, guys, did you read Carrie Fisher's autobiography? She had a real-life affair with a 30-year-old Han Solo when she was 19. A real-life affair. That's the princess, guys. You know what I mean? And we love Carrie because she was so uncanny and she was just so real. You know what I mean? Like, she did tons of drugs, had an affair with a 30-year-old Harrison Ford when she was 19 on the set of Star Wars. You know what I mean? Like, guys, just saying, like, you can't have it both ways. You know what I mean? Like, you can't, like, give that a pass and then say that you hate Kylo and Rey. Yeah, I think that might be true. Thanks, Matt. Thank you. Oh, we're going to be streaming like this a ton. I had plans. I would have done probably 6 more live streams this year had YouTube not glitched out and stopped doing all that. Ronnie James, drugs and affairs are real if you really did them and had the affairs. They're not real inherently. What I mean is Carrie was real because she talked about what she really did. She didn't dress it up and try to act Hollywood. Careful, my friend. Careful with the words you speak. Ooh, what's my favorite episode? That's tough. It rotates between Revenge of the Sith. I really like Revenge of the Sith, Empire, and Rogue One, which is a new thing because I used to actually like The Last Jedi the most out of all of the Disney stuff, and now like it's switched, and Rogue One is my favorite. Like if I'm just putting on a Star Wars movie, and if I'm going to introduce someone to Star Wars, it's probably going to be Rogue One, which I know a lot of other fans disagree with. They're like, nah. But Rogue One is dope. So, but that's technically not an episode film, so it would be either Empire or Sith, the two best in my opinion. Yeah, I know Wayward Jedi's channel. I really like the Wayward Jedi. I think Wayward Jedi does great content. I like Wayward Jedi. I'd love to collab. In fact, I've actually reached out to the Wayward Jedi a lot about collabing. He's got a busy like life, and is what it is. I totally understand it. But yeah, I like Wayward Jedi. He does his thing. He stays in his lane, does his stuff, and that's cool. Oh, yeah. It's real. Teal Leader checking in. I love it. Revenge of the Sith is dope. Who will be the last Skywalker? Either Kylo or we'll never have a last Skywalker. I think is what it is. Is Snoke coming back? Nah, man. Sorry. Snoke ain't coming back. Chris hopes everybody is having an awesome weekend. Thanks, Chris. I hope you're having an awesome weekend, bro. Got to run for now. Watch the replay. All right. Take care, man. Ben Solo is likely the last Skywalker, yeah. Or his kids, or whatever. Snoke can be back in flashbacks? For sure. For sure. All right, guys, I'm going to do 2 more questions. 2 more questions. Pop them in. We got 2 more questions to go over, and then we're going to call it. Plenty of more live streams to come. Lots of cool content to come. Remember, the Nerdy News Rundown. 5 days a week, giving you the news about the nerdy stuff. And I know it's a lot of Marvel and Avengers stuff, but that's what's hot right now. It's what people want to talk about. Towards the end of the year, it'll focus more on Episode 9. So we'll be talking Episode 9 a lot in the end of the year on the show. All-time favorite scene in all the movies, it's probably in Return of the Jedi, Luke and Vader. In like when Luke just shows up to the base and has the lightsaber, that scene between them is just rock and roll. That is a great scene leading up to them going up to the second Death Star. I'm going to pick my favorite question here. Sorry, guys. Let me think. I'm just trying to look through the questions. I am a Jedi like my father before me. Yep. Thank you, man, Mr. DVS. I appreciate it, bro. I'd love a prequel Ben Solo movie. What was my favorite Star Wars fan film? That's a tricky one. That poster looks like Grandma shipping her grandson to me. I don't know what you're talking about. Poor Mike Zero. I'm always confused when I watch his videos. Where does he get his info from? Okay, we'll end on that question. The popular idea on Reddit and everything is that Mike actually goes to the future. And so when he says future Star Wars content, he's not saying like content in the future. He's saying, no, he goes to the future and gets his content from the future. Flick Talk, they killed that in the review, but yeah, that's funny. Okay, so guys, that's going to do it for this show. That is going to do it. Look, the thing is with here, we do a lot of videos. The short, concise videos, they go get views, and then we kick it. We do streams, fan chats with just you guys and me and guests sometimes, where we talk a little bit more casually. Because at the end of the day, this is a community. So I'm very much pleased with where we're going, and we're going to be doing the videos, and we're going to be doing the live streams. That's the formula. So I will see you guys next time. If I ever say something in a show that bothers you, if I ever say something in a video that confuses you, show up on a live stream and ask me about it. We can talk about it. It's not a big deal. Am I going to Celebration? Hell yeah. Got to figure it out, though. Thank you guys so much. Definitely Reylo videos on the way, Yova, for show. Don't worry. And guys, as I always say, I hope you're having an awesome and a nerdy day. And I'll see you in the next video, which will probably be the news tomorrow morning. See ya.